So, guys, we're back again. This time we're post game. We all just fresh off of a at least victory over the Oilers. Awesome.
Finally.
Yeah, that was well overdue.
Yep.
Last game, or last, I should say last game, last podcast, we got into a fairly, I won't say heated discussion. But Carly got a bit wound up over a whole cross checking issue and players being dirty and unnecessarily dirty. And you still feel the same way, Carly?
I do. Now you see why.
Okay. Well, I want to ask a quick question there. I'm just going to pop this up for our viewers. I don't know if there's any explanation
Oh
available.
my gosh.
But our
Why?
backroom
Why?
staff at DSC did some digging for us, and we're not going to say where this came from or how it got to in our hands, but it's some file footage. And do you recognize the girl in the gray helmet?
I most certainly do.
Okay. Can you outline for us who that girl might be?
It's definitely not me. For
Oh,
sure.
nice.
Like literally maybe 18. No, how old would I have been? I was under 20, the league I played in. So I would have been probably 18 or 19 at the time. And I believe that was a team from Marystown, actually.
Where's that? The Bay Arena?
No, it's actually in Whitburn, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that's what.
Yeah.
Look at the curling
Yeah, it's
rings.
playing- Yeah,
That's all right.
but that's what I think it is. If I remember correctly, it was in Whitburn. Yeah, and it was just a really dirty game. It was a tournament, and yeah, this girl was just getting at me all game, and I just eventually, if you can see like both pictures there, at one point there was two of them, and then one of the girls came over to give me a hand there in the bottom, as you can see, but yeah, I don't even think I had a penalty if I remember.
Nice.
Yeah, there you have it. Bending the rules. So anyway, here we are again, pot calling the kettle black, as they
I'm
say.
Sorry, I know
Yeah.
I was a little dirty back then. I would never do that now. Just to say.
Big thanks to the backroom staff for digging that out for
Disclaimer.
us. No, guys, so I guess our segue into podcast episode 2, Deep Snipe Silly. I'd like to welcome again your hosts, Kylie Murren, Chad Newman, and myself, Ryan Gates. So far, we're including our pilot, I guess this is our third one really, and been well received by the people who are viewing, so we're happy about that. We're going to keep it rolling. Trying something a little different, like we said tonight. We're hot off of the Leafs win. I literally just turned off the TV myself. They're still doing the post game, if I'm not mistaken. They're interviewing players and coaches as we speak. So
Yep.
we may miss a few things, who knows? But in any case, we're going to break down the game as we've seen it while emotions are still running high. I personally wasn't overly impressed in the first period by how they came out. It felt very
Snooze fest.
yeah, and very last year. I'm like, this has been done. These slow starts been done. So not really cool. I will admit it didn't last a whole period, which is nice to see. And they were able to keep the goal differential even anyway. So the last 5 minutes there, they had a couple of good pressure plays, kept it in the offensive zone, cycled the puck. I was like, okay, because I don't know how damaged I am. I get so ready to throw in the towel way too early on this team.
I was honestly debating going to bed after the first period because I was ready to give up myself, and then I realized, no, don't do it, not tonight. I'm glad I didn't because it ended up being a good result. So
Yeah, it was a good game. Like it ended up being definitely getting your money's worth at the end of it. Like it was, it just really picked up somewhere in the second. It just, yeah, I gotta say it was a really good answer to the last boring game where it was just tight up the middle and just flat.
I want to say
flat
though
hockey.
how excellent Freddy played. Freddy was on fire. He's the one who kept the boys in the game tonight. I really want to say that. Did they announce the 3 stars? If anyone caught that, I wonder if Freddy was the number one.
Yeah, if he wasn't, he should have been. The game could have gotten out of hand in a hurry.
100%. Freddie was on fire tonight. Props to Freddie. I know he gets a lot of love, but here lately, I feel like he gets a lot of heat. So yeah, I just want to put that out there that
Nice, solid.
that game was thanks to Freddie for sure. He kept us in there.
It seemed like to me, my takeaway from it seemed to me like I was looking at the stats. I got them here in front of me. Face-off percentage was 56-44 in favor of the Leafs. Obviously, we won a lot of draws, but I found not that we won the draws, it's the fact that the key draws that we won We won a lot of defensive zone draw. John Tavares, I don't know what his personal percentage was, but it seemed like he beat McDavid every time he went up against him.
Oh, big time.
That was my first takeaway again, because I'm obsessed with Tavares. My other takeaway again is my dark horse this season, which was Kerfoot. I thought Kerfoot was it's the best game I've seen Kerfoot play.
He's leveled up, and this year he's leveled up big time.
Yeah. So
yeah, he's doing really well, I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean,
fire out there, like he's giving her all the time.
Well,
especially this past game for sure, you know.
Yeah, aggressive on the puck. He's skating hard. He's pumping you. Like, I don't know. He looks like a different player this year. He looks faster to me too. I mean, which I think is probably ridiculous because he was a fast player anyway. But I don't think he was putting himself in a position to use his speed to his advantage last year, if that makes sense. But now this year, yeah,
especially like on the, you know, I feel like with Kapanen gone, maybe he feels like he gotta be the fast guy, even though we have Mikheyev out there.
True, yeah.
That was with the few notes that I did write tonight. I don't know how many times I wrote Mikheyev's name. He was so impressive tonight. So
you gotta start going in soon.
Yeah,
they gotta start going. Something
and shorthanded, and it's got to be a shorty. It's got to be.
He just pulls away from everybody. Any chance, and he's gone.
He's amazing. Like, yes, McDavid's fast, but there's just something with Mikheyev when he gets going.
Yeah,
he got some wheels.
Yeah,
that was my only knock on Freddy tonight, was the shorthanded goal. I mean,
oh God, I got wrote here that he messed that up.
Yeah, he misplayed the puck, and then he left. Well, the 5-hole, you could have drove a minivan through the 5-hole. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't even. It wasn't. There was nothing butterfly about it. It was London Bridge, right? So, anyway, that was it. That was his only misplay of the game. Other than that, I'm not going to hold that against him. Everyone's entitled to a screw up. Certainly, goalies. They're under so much scrutiny.
Yeah, he ended up redeeming himself.
Yeah, no, I got no real qualms with him. But I thought I was going to after that. I thought, okay, here we go. TSN turning point, right?
Yeah.
TSN wasn't exactly in game form there either tonight. The broadcasting this year, I mean, they missed their preseason too, right?
I don't think they did yet.
Man, they got the name shagged up, and it was, you know, not quite as bad as watching the Winnipeg game the other night, where they kept referring to themselves as being back in Winnipeg. But,
I noticed that too.
But I mean, the broadcasting is pitiful. The only people who look to be in form, oddly enough, this game seemed to be the refs in the first period. It seemed like they had their shit together, but for the most part, it was not tidy on anybody's end. So no, it was a great jump into the second. Really, I can't emphasize enough how many reallys I really liked that goal that VC scored.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Oh, beauty.
They earned that one real big.
I mean, Kerfoot gets the second assist, but obviously doesn't happen without his puck pursuit and ragging the puck. Willie's selflessness and vision, and then VC with the finish, like no guesswork, right? Top shelf. Don't fool around with it. Don't shoot it into the crest. Shut top shelf where no one's getting it. And I thought it was a beautiful play, which highlights for me something I think we should probably talk about, because I mean, that's basically the game in a nutshell. After that, there was a couple of really nice tip plays on both sides. Tavares had a beauty. McDavid had a beauty.
Just before
yeah. And then Marner buries it inconsequentially. It didn't matter, but pad the stats, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I really like what Marner did though on that goal that JT tipped in. Like he noticed that Hyman was right in the perfect spot, and he just waited and held it. And I was just about to scream like, "What are you doing?" Because he was like, there was an Edmonton player, you know, just approaching him, and he just held it perfectly and flicked it at the perfect time. It was just perfect, like typical Marner. I loved it.
Yeah,
it was such a bang play too, typical of Tavares, that I didn't even know Tavares got the goal. I thought it was Hyman.
No, I wasn't sure either. It was perfect. Like Tavares just stuck his stick right out at the perfect time. It was
TSN doing their typical McDavid love too. I mean, they're right before they're talking about how hard that is to do and everything else. I mean, McDavid was facing the shot. Tavares was skating across the slot, right? So anyway, no, hats off to the boys. They put together a good effort. But I think what we should run into with this game is the missing pieces that we had. So obviously, this is not new news. Thornton is out, fractured rib, 4 weeks-ish. Matthews missed the game due to what they're saying, upper body, and I'm hearing soreness. So we're hoping not shoulder, but possibly, who knows. So that's two key pieces. That's two guys off your top line. So with the start that they had, I was ready to throw in the towel. I was like, okay, this is crap. We're a one player team. I'm going home. I'm taking my
Yeah.
dinkies. But no, they look like a good team. And what I really liked with with shuffling, which I didn't when I looked at the lines early on, I happened to be chatting with Kylie at the time, whereas we were doing just testing some gear here, and I mentioned to her, I was like, I do not like that second line. That is not a good
No.
second line. Kerfoot, Nylander, VC, not digging it, not feeling it. What are they thinking? And hands down, not even close, the best line that Leafs had tonight. I mean, every shift they were all over it. Willie,
Yeah, they were everywhere.
he kind of spoofed a couple of plays. They highlighted that in the
Yes,
in the
he did.
packet. I mean,
He
they always
did,
do it.
yeah.
Whenever Nylander messes up, even remotely, they hit him like a ton of bricks.
They
but
love to just shit on Nylander,
Couple-
though. We're
couple-
used to it
Yeah,
now.
those were a couple of Colin bad ones though, but
yeah,
they
Yeah.
weren't. One was
He
you know,
wasn't-
obviously worse than the other.
Yeah, he wasn't his best tonight in a couple of those plays, but
well, they
But he
tried to
did play-
they tried to hang
he
the
did redeem
shorthanded
himself.
goal on Willie. I'm like, what are you doing, boys? I mean,
No.
I get that you don't like
No.
Nylander, but that shorthanded goal
that was Freddy.
that was
I
Freddie
feel like that
and
was on
Riley,
Freddy.
and not even so
Yeah.
much Riley, but it was Freddie. He just
It was
usually
Freddy,
wrapped that
just-
around and
and
it's done.
panic and typical Freddy, and he just panicked, and it was just it
So
was, it was
I
over.
didn't really like that in the broadcast. Again, TSN, it is what it is. You're gonna get
Yeah.
some preseason jitters from those guys too. I didn't think that was fair on. But now the other one where Draisaitl blew the zone. Again, it's Leon Draisaitl. I mean, when the Hart Trophy winner skates past you, sometimes he's going to score a goal.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's right.
Yeah,
So-
that's
It's
kind
kind
of
of good at it.
Yeah,
that's
and
kinda what he
Nylander
does.
was leaning up ice because that's the way the play was supposed to be going. So I don't really I'm not gonna crucify Nylander. I thought he otherwise had a great game. I thought he looked really, really good with he looks great with VC anyway. It seems like they got a little bit of chemistry going early.
They do,
And that's
yeah,
cool.
I feel like,
That's
yeah, it's
two
like they're
setups.
buddies. Yeah, I think
Right.
they must be buddies or something off the ice or something.
He got his
Well,
own Hyman.
Yeah,
Ray
he
Ferraro
does.
is
His own
my-
go-getter.
Yeah,
Ray is one of my favorite broadcasters. They always love Ray, and
I like Ray too.
he hit the nail on the head. He's like Jimmy VC, no dummy. When Nylander got the puck, get open, and
Yeah, essentially.
and VC's got that figured out early, and it looks stellar. So that's the one thing I took away from it. That okay, I was wrong. That's not the first time. That won't be the last. I really like that line. I liked it better than the top line. Top line also got it done, mind you, in a big way.
right.
But I thought that second line looked solid and complete the whole night, and that's a shock to me because I guess because my mind leads me to last year Kerfoot, and we don't have last year Kerfoot. We got this year Kerfoot, and he looks better.
He's
And
new and improved.
oh yeah, he looks like a second line center. Playing like
Shining.
And
one.
last year we were kind of unfairly looking at him as okay, this is our new Kadri.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
That's
it wasn't
very
fair to
true.
him, right? And but
No.
that's the way he was viewed, is just coming back in that trade, and that's what we were all missing.
Well, we
Still
were
miss him.
so unimpressed with Barry too that we kind of I feel like Kerfoot didn't get the greatest impression because of that. We were comparing him for sure.
There's no question about that. So what about you guys? Any takeaways, things that you liked or didn't like from the game? Anything that stood out to you? I mean, you've hit a few points, but anything else?
Engvall, I'm a big fan of Engvall, and I'm kind of
Same.
disappointed how his years started. And when I saw him take that hooking penalty off the face
so-
off, and I was kind of like,
I was like, put him on the taxi, get him out
It
of here.
seems-
Yeah, get out of here.
Keith, like it seemed like Keith was pissed off at you anyway. And I'm sure you're not helping your own case, but then he did his own thing. He had a good game afterwards. And I mean, I
He
liked seeing
did.
him up there playing. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, true. He did. Yeah, he had a good game. I do want to say something. Brody, those stick checks, those blocks, those getting down on his belly. I'm like, who are you? And thank you for coming to our team.
Is that good defense on the Leafs? That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
that
weird.
doesn't happen.
I'm
Leafs
glad-
don't have that.
I'm glad you mentioned that because it was on my tongue when I was watching the game and
Oh,
it completely slipped
God.
my mind. Here, he looked fantastic. He looked stellar.
He is just well, my stepson he plays defense, and I keep trying to like show him Brody plays. I'm like, do this. Oh, see how he got down on his stomach? Do that. Because it's just it's simple, but it's amazing.
Just play like
You can
TJ
do
Brody,
those
no
things.
problem, kid.
Just yeah, come on, you got this. You got this.
You're 11 years old, you can do it.
He's only 10, but
Oh, 10. Okay, well, 10, but he plays like an 11-year-old. I like it.
But just those little things, though, because there was a situation in his game the other night where it was a 2-on-1, and I said, in that situation, I said, you do what Brody did last night, and I showed him, right?
Spread it.
Cool.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Cover ice, yeah. Cover
Red
ice.
Eagle.
That's great takes, guys.
Let's go.
So, like I said, we on a night when we missed Matthews and Thornton, we didn't really miss Matthews and Thornton. So that's the good news. Worth mentioning as well.
I missed him on the power play a little bit, but
And I don't know, because like I said, my knock on the Leafs this year, my only knock is that the first power play unit doesn't look like the first power play unit. The second unit does. I really liked Tavares' power play unit. I just think Tavares' drive, and he's just so dialed this year too, and he proved it on the tip. I think that the second power play unit with Nylander and Tavares will score more goals than Matthews and Marner on the power play. That's my hot take. I will stick to that, and we'll see how it pans out if they don't change it up anyway mid-season, which I kind of funny feeling they will. But no, they're playing great.
Adam Brooks scored.
Thank you.
Oh my
Forgot.
God.
Yes.
Yeah.
How can we not mention that?
Yeah, that's your boy. That's your
my
dude.
guy. Every 2 or 3 years, I pick a guy.
Yeah.
For a long time, it was Jeremy Bracco. Never panned out for me, unfortunately. 2 years ago, I decided that Adam Brooks was my guy. I followed him from the draft on up through. I really liked his junior career. I mean, they highlighted that after his goal. Oh, he's a dog, right? He's obviously got some offensive flair. He's got that upside. It wasn't exactly you're right home to mom about goal tonight. It was going, I kicked it in more or less, but not officially, but it went off a skate. But no, the kid got his goal. I'm really happy for him. I really hope he gets an extended look here at some point, because to be honest with you, the only time I was impressed with Barbanov since he came with us was during the blue and white game. I haven't seen anything to even worth.
He had a couple times tonight. He looked pretty good, but he's.
I enjoyed his forecheck tonight. It was It was a couple times I noticed him going deep into the corners, like no regrets kind of thing. And you don't see players like William Nylander. Sorry, but you don't see players like that, like him, do that. So I was, I was kind of impressed with his game tonight. I feel like he's kind of coming into himself finally. So hopefully he pans out.
Yeah, hopefully so. More the better.
Let me see here.
I do want to say, did you guys see Mitch Marner using his body tonight again? I feel like he's finally starting to get a little bit braver in the corners and digging deep.
Yeah, a bit man-sized.
Around. Yeah, he's finally maybe not so afraid.
No, for sure.
I'm loving it.
Comes with it.
And how many game-winning goals has John Tavares had? Oh. Really, though? I would like to know. I wonder, is there an easy Google search to find that out?
I wouldn't know exactly
He's had
where to look.
Way too many.
Oh, look it up.
Have a quick peek. In the meantime, let's talk about who our number one star of the game was. Miss Kylie, it was
Freddy.
Exactly, that's my take as well.
Mm-hmm. Even with the bad goal.
Yeah, even with the bad goal, he kept the team in it when it counted.
He did, yeah. Did you see when there was one time they were digging in front of the net, and he just had his foot tight to the oh my God, I can't think of the word. Tight to the edge of tight to the post. My goodness, tight to the post, and I think it was McDavid was just digging, and he stood his ground, and I'm like, finally, Freddy. I feel like October Freddy is no more. It's now November.
He looked dialed tonight. They mentioned that he had said that he feels like he's tracking the puck better, and it was. I know commentators are what they are, but it was easy to see. So. No, great. One notable thing about Fred, so it's tonight's win, he passes Curtis Joseph on the all-time wins list for the Leafs. I got a little screen snippet here I'll splash up for you guys, and we can talk about it and digest it and drool over it. If you stand by here 1 second. I really like it. Let's pop this baby on the screen here.
Site I'm looking at has 54 game winners, but I don't think it's updated.
Wow, that's still a lot, though. Hey.
Oh, Oh yeah, big time.
This would have
Clutch.
been pre tonight, so this would have been 138 games before the game started. So 139 now is his wins, and games played. I believe
Wow.
there's another loss tacked on that. I think it's probably 249. If you ever look at Potvin, again 300 over 100 more games played, and he's only got an extra over Freddy and our 41 wins or
20.
21
No.
wins. Holy cow!
Yeah.
Yeah.
21,
So
Yeah.
21 wins.
I mean, we're
And
talking
he's
serious talent
yeah,
in Felix
no
Potvin.
doubt.
I don't like to
Yeah.
compare him to Johnny Bauer or Turk Broda. That's a different generation. That's different hockey.
Get this man a
but
cup and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
But
100%.
I thought that was worth flashing up there because man,
Yeah.
what a player.
Fourth most in Leafs history. I mean,
That's big numbers.
and like if you look at the, like you said, the number of games, it's just that's
Well,
talent,
he hasn't been a Leaf that long.
right?
Let's be honest. He's only just breaking in his pads. So
That's right.
But I gotta agree with Chad and say get this man a cup, and then we can talk about
then we
it.
can talk about who the greatest
But
of all
that's
time
big
is.
numbers and it's to be respected, I think, because he was getting a little bit of disrespect there the first few games. No,
Yeah,
it's
Yeah,
Freddie,
absolutely.
man. He's solid. I don't know who you'd want there
exactly.
in his place. Seriously, like possible.
Honestly,
No one.
there's not very many goalies out there who you would say it's better than Freddie
There's about
Anderson.
25 other teams out there who would give anything to have Freddie Anderson.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
especially
mean-
when you can say that the Leafs have shit defense or they're this or they're that. So what makes us so good then? Freddie
Right.
Anderson.
Yeah, he steals games.
Yeah,
He's big.
100%.
He's big. He's cool. He's calm and he's confident.
Yep.
He's good.
He's
As good as
just
he can get.
No,
yeah. I
absolutely.
wouldn't. There's not many I would take before him. Not many.
I like it, guys. I think we've talked about the Leafs more than enough. I think we covered just about everything and praised, and we're all
Coming
in a
off a
great
win.
mood. Yeah, exactly. This would have been a lot different story if McDavid tips one in with 5 minutes left in the third period, and then we lose the straight.
Oh, I was ready to have a panic attack those last 5 minutes, guys. Honest to
Yeah.
God.
No, it's
Yeah,
easy
it
to
was
breathe
it
a
was a
sigh.
rough. It was touch and go there for a bit.
Yeah, no, I was not feeling a win either. Prior to the game, I was really feeling like, missing
Same.
two big
Especially-
players. I'm just not feeling it. And then with the start, I was like, oh God, my ESP is kicking in
It
again.
it was rocky.
But no, great game. Around the league, there's some notable stuff to talk about. What about the Caps and their COVID situation? We got 4 big players out for the Caps right now, and
It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
they're 4
Yeah.
games each, isn't
It
it?
is. The names I do believe. Let me see. I think I can't find it. Anyway, it was Ovi obviously is the
Samsonov.
Ilya
Kuznetsov.
Samsonov, Evgeny Kuznetsov, and Dmitry Orlov. So
Yeah.
a lot of ovs all into one
Yeah.
hotel room apparently, and because of which, due to contact tracing, all are not allowed to play. Even though I think one of them is confirmed to
One
have
of
a.
them, one of them
Which-
did end up having a confirmed case. Yeah.
The fact that all of them on the team doesn't have COVID-19 amazes me. I mean, the after game win, everyone coming together and tapping each other on the head and blowing in each other's faces and stuff. I'm like, how did they not all have this disease or virus? I should say.
Yeah. I don't know.
My
And I think it was $100,000 fine to the team as well.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's what I read.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
you-
It's not really fair. I don't think.
No,
Anyway.
it's again, if anything, if there was rules put in place, the thing that the other players said on all the teams as well as the Caps, they said that these rules were preached to the team, like explain in this wouldn't like just pass it in a pamphlet and said review this, we're going back playing hockey. This was sat down
Yeah.
seminar type. Here's what you can and cannot do. It's for the health and
Exactly.
safety of everybody, and they
At
broke
the end
the
of
rules.
the day,
I don't know.
exactly.
I don't know. But to me, it takes away the human element. I mean, you're on the ice. These are the guys you're spending all your time with to do this. You're coming back to do this sport at a pretty sketchy time anyway. And here you are. This is all you got now is your team. And you're all good, dressing room, ice, everything like that. Outside, you're usually all friends and hanging out. You go out for dinner, a couple of drinks or something like that. No, now you just got to go back to a hotel room, sit down, be quiet. And like, I mean, of course you want to hang out and see your friends. I mean, that's
Yeah.
all you got. And you see them all day long. You just want to sit down with them and spend a little bit of
Right.
time.
I'm on
That's-
two minds about that because it's kind of like having your cake and eating it too, because the players were adamant that
Yeah.
they didn't want to bubble up. They didn't want to go into the whole playoff bubble that they just came out of. They want to be able to spend time with their family and friends off the ice as well. So if you're going to want that, then you best respect the rules on the other side as well. That's my
Yes.
only, like you can't have it both ways.
They're
So
sitting on the bench next to each other, no masks on. They're
yeah,
hugging each other.
yeah. I know.
Why
They
not?
I hear
knew
you.
going into it. They knew
They,
going
they
into
could be
this
6
that
feet
this
apart in a
was-
hotel room.
Yeah.
Right? They could wear masks in the hotel room. Nobody said
Exactly.
what was going on. But I did want to mention,
It's
did
the
you
rules.
guys see or did you read what Ovi's wife said on
Oh, yeah.
Instagram?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Hear about that? Okay, so it was kind of funny, and of course it was kind of, I don't know,
It was
what's the
catty.
word? Sarcastic, we will say. Yeah, it was definitely catty.
It had a lot of edge to it. Yeah.
This was translated, so it might be a little bit weird, but here goes. She said, "Of course, only Russian players of Washington Capitals were together in the same hotel room. Of course, all of the other NHL players, when playing away, separating themselves from their teammates. Of course, you can't catch the virus when you and your teammates sit together sit together on the bench, hug each other when they score a goal, or when they are all together in the lounge or locker room. Players can't get infected when they are at the restaurants, supermarkets, malls, etc. Virus only works in a hotel room. The one who came up with this rule, obviously is very logical. By the way, both Alex Ovechkin and Dmitry Orlov have antibodies. Unfortunately, not everyone is competent in their antibodies' value and properties." So, like I said, it's a little bit wonky because of the translation, but yeah. So I'm not sure what she means
Message
by
is clear.
that. Yeah, but they have antibodies. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but
Normally, antibodies
Vaccine.
means that you've either
They
had a
had it?
vaccine or they've had COVID. Usually it means they've had COVID, and they've built the
Right.
antibodies to fight the virus, right?
I don't know if you guys seen the tweet from Ovi too, where he said, "I regret my choice to spend time together with my teammates in our hotel room and away from the locker room areas. I will learn from this experience."
Oh, yeah.
So that was pretty.
Tongue in
That was
cheek.
pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, with my teammates.
And outside of the locker room. Yeah, it's
I agree. A lot of the rules are pretty backwards and stupid, if you ask me. But I'm sure that they come from a reasoning of science or whatnot. But
It's just all about limiting probability. The less amount of time these guys spend together, the less amount of time there is chance of transmission. You can be sure that the league is discouraging these post-game celebrations where they're all up in each other's shit too. But I mean, there's probably no rule against it because it's on ice practice, right?
Yeah, there's no different than a guy rooting in the corner with another guy,
No, I agree.
So.
But again, here we are. It's 2020.
Yeah.
If
21.
21.
Good call. If I got to put up with a few suspensions or fines or whatever to get to watch hockey, then the boys best get their proverbial poo in line here. If it means
I agree.
not shutting down the season because of everyone getting sick. So
Let's hope the players can get through it because this got to be insanely tough.
Oh my God! All these games in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, and I mean, in this environment, you have no fans.
Yes,
You have no
that
emotion
too.
in the building whatsoever, and then you got to go home and hang out in your hotel room and
By
not
yourself.
see anybody.
Yeah, they were talking about that. I don't know if it was on Overdrive or Leafs Lunch or something, and that's what they're saying. If you notice, some of the goal celebrations even are not as how they used to be, and the guys are saying it's because there's no fans. We don't feel the need to celebrate, I suppose, because give each other a high five, but that's about it. It's not the same atmosphere. So that got to
Hope they can
affect
get
their
through it.
playing somewhat.
yeah, no selfies with the fans this year.
No, you feed off the atmosphere and the the emotion and everything else. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that knocks the COVID issue on the head. I think there's some varying opinions and views on that, and at the end of the day, it is what it is. Just like cross-checking, every time there's an infraction, it will be called.
hopefully. But talking about that,
She's not
my
done.
boyfriend mentioned but my boyfriend mentioned, so I don't know if he only watches TV, like he's not on Twitter or any of that stuff, so we obviously heard it on TV, but something about the reasoning that Matthews is out was because of those cross checks, or was that just rumors?
Speculation. I never heard it.
Speculation. So that's what I'm wondering. I haven't seen anything myself, but he did mention something about that, so I assume they were probably just speculation. Maybe the guy's shooting shit talking about
Could be.
But
Could be.
yeah, so he could be sore still from that game. So
Well,
you don't get much rest.
He I won't say he was injured on that play, but he was certainly
No,
hurt.
But
right?
Think about it. I mean, you know you're
So
going to be sore the next day. So regardless of
that
what
being
happens, you
said,
notice.
if I had one, Matthew's training regime, two, his diet, three, his access to elite level equipment and training and professionals, I wouldn't be sore the next day. Sorry. These guys
Yeah,
should be able to bounce back. Stamkos
they
smashed his leg
should.
off, and he was off crutches in what, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
ridiculous.
there's a
He
So
was
reason they.
running. He was running in the pool on the treadmill with a broken leg, right?
yeah, I'm like, so like I kind of, that's like when Matthews had COVID. They asked him what it was like. He's like, oh well, it's pretty bad. I couldn't work out for a couple of days. I'm like, yeah, other people in the hospital can barely breathe, right? And
Yeah.
you had to sit on your
Right?
couch for a couple of days. So these
They
guys
call
are
him
at an elite level.
Glass
When
They call him
when
whatever it is, Glass use, Matthew Glass use,
yeah,
Austin Glass use. Sorry.
yeah. No, you gotta think that when these guys sit out, it's got to be for something actually
You hope
worth
it's
sitting out for.
necessary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
certainly when it's your
Or
star player. So
Keith didn't
yeah,
seem so
there's
interested to talk about it any further. He was just like, "Oh yeah, I'm not concerned," and I don't know, his
I know,
body
and
language was kind of just whatever,
and
just
then
shrug it off. Next,
Matthew's comments after the first Edmonton game were kind of sus too, because he was talking about something to do with the pre-scout report and how they shouldn't just focus on two guys, being I guess McDavid and Draisaitl. Like we have to focus on winning battles or whatever he said. So I'm wondering, was that like a dig at Keefe? And some people were even saying on Twitter that maybe they benched him. I mean,
I
there's
can't see
there's
that.
a. I know. I really
you
think
would
they would
hope
never
not.
bench. You would never bench Matthews,
I
but I
don't
mean,
think Keith could ever do that.
but for all we know, is apparently he was complaining also about Keith's practices being too hard. So,
Oh, I'm sorry if your injury is caused by carrying around that wallet for 12 million bucks.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
again, this
like,
could be all
give me
total
a
BS.
break. Come
This
do
could
my
be
job
total
for a day.
BS, right? It could be because it's just crap that I've read
Hopefully,
on Twitter
hopefully
or
this
I've
because
heard. I'm just
Keith
total
isn't
speculation.
Tortorella.
No,
Yeah.
no.
No.
Speaking of Tortorella,
Yes. How about Tortorella? You want to talk about
yeah.
Tortorella? Let's talk about Tortorella, Pierre-Luc Dubois,
Did you catch during the
Jarmo
broadcast?
Kekalainen, and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Wow, what a mess of a franchise and organization. If this was a one-off, I'd be like, okay, this is newsworthy. But for me, this is huge stuff. Like players are fleeing that franchise yearly. They can't get anyone to
Torts is
re-sign there.
scary. You can't tell me that man is not scary.
No, they say he's tough to play for, but he's also like one of the best people away from the rink.
He's right, but he's good at what he does. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Look
But
at his team.
He doesn't talk though. He just yells.
There's no like.
That's his communication.
I remember seeing a clip of him poking. I think it was Pierre-Luc Dubois, like in the chest and screaming in his face, and it was just like, wow, that's like traumatizing.
There's accountability, and then there's like, okay,
yeah, like come on now. There's pushing someone, and then there's like, torturing someone. I suppose.
Well,
it's an archaic.
Is what they call it. Yeah, I mean,
not torturing, but I guess assaulting someone.
It's a form of
an
bullying.
archaic.
Bullying, yeah, 100%, Chad. Yeah.
But yeah, so in following this story, I find it one of those stories I just can't get enough of, because there's so many dynamics to it. You got Jarmo Kekalainen there, who's a GM, who's a no nonsense guy, right?
No.
And he's got a coach who's also a no nonsense guy, but creates a lot of nonsense around him. And then you've got a player who's a budding superstar on a super cheap contract on purpose. He made himself tradable.
Yeah.
What do you do? Like for me, if I'm Kekalainen, I'm like, now who do I value more in this situation, the coach or the player?
That's true.
And for me, it's an easy choice. I got to tell you, John Tortorella won a cup a million years ago, and that's cool.
Yeah, haven't done shit since,
right?
Honestly.
I mean, Dubois was in diapers then. It's a new game. It's a new era. I'd be looking awfully hard at my coach at this point. But obviously, they're not at that point. Everything seems to be leaning towards a trade happening. They're talking about Winnipeg being hot to trot. I had someone message me today from the blog crowd who said they heard that they're looking at straight up Laine for Pierre-Luc Dubois, right? Makes a ton of sense. Fresh change of scenery, but I guarantee you, Patrick Laine better be careful what he wishes for. You think the dude's hard on Dubois? Whoa.
That's what I'm thinking. If
I
that's
can't
a trade,
imagine.
like
Oh my.
how bad Laine wants out of Winnipeg, but my question is, I don't think he would want to go to Columbus knowing
How bad
that.
do you want to be a first line forward in this
Yeah,
situation?
I don't. Mm-mm. I
And
want
you're
to
not
look at
guaranteed with Tortorella. You're not guaranteed
You're not
anything
guaranteed anything with Tortorella.
But he doesn't
how
have
is
like a no move contract, does he?
No,
So
he's
too
he's sitting on the whatever the
good
team
to go.
decides is best to do. He's going where they say. That would be for me
wow.
worst case for him,
Mm-hmm.
because
That's. Can you imagine?
he's not an effort
He's
player.
not.
Careful
No.
what you wish for.
Mm-mm.
Yep, very much so.
He's gonna hate his life. I'm just looking here at Columbus's record this season so far. They literally have one win. You know what? We might see a Babcock situation happen here. What do you
Could be.
think? What do you
I wouldn't
think?
be shocked, but I think what you're gonna see is Dubois will get moved, and it's gonna be a splash of a trade, and it's gonna be shaken up, and then
See if it changes anything.
yeah, and if it doesn't, Tortorella's on a short leash at that point.
Gone.
You've cost us our number one center, future number one center, and budding superstar.
Yep.
You best show some results, or you are out the door.
Well,
So
it's a lot like the Babcock. He's a very decorated coach, national
Mhm.
coach, just like Tortorella is Team USA
Yep.
all the time.
That's what I'm thinking.
He gets
He's
picked.
like the U.S. version of Babcock.
Yeah, it's about
And
to go down.
he coaches that old school kind of hockey where it's like
Yeah.
bullying essentially somebody, and I won't say bullying, but yeah, essentially bullying. But
I won't say bullying, but
it's
yeah,
just but
it
well,
is what it is.
well,
Yeah.
as soon as I said that, the word Mitch Marner came in my mind of what happened, and I feel like Torts could be
Trying
on
to-
the chopping block.
He's trying to teach with aggression. It's
Yeah, and it's not
it's a
happening.
rough way to do it.
Did you see the response to his article with Pierre LeBrun, or I think it was it Pierre?
Ooh, Babcock,
Just-
yeah.
Yeah, but did you see
didn't.
Johan?
Not yet.
Did you see his response to that? Like pretty much calling him out, like you're a piece of shit, and no.
Yeah. I thought
You're full of
Jeff
shit.
O'Neill's synopsis on it tonight was bang on. When the panel were talking about whether Mike Babcock ends up back in the NHL or not, and everyone's saying,
Yeah.
oh yeah, maybe 20, 22, 23, whatever, and O'Neill's like, no, never.
No,
The NHL is too
he's
small. If you want to know what a coach is like, you only got to pick up the phone, and if you're going to pick up the phone, why not call some of the best young stars in the league, and Marner, Matthews.
They'll tell you.
He's got a bad rap, and that's not going to go away.
He interviewed for a coaching position this offseason. I forget for what team.
Is that Buffalo?
Washington, wasn't it? Pretty sure it was Washington's coaching position. They said that in that article I read the other day. And obviously, he didn't get it. So there's a reason. And then he asked him about potentially, I guess, coaching for Team Canada in the Olympics. He was like, "Oh, wouldn't that be nice?" So, but for somebody else, he's saying that's going to be a great opportunity for some young coach in the NHL. So he essentially said, like, "No, I won't be doing that, I suppose." But he never ruled out whether he'd come back to the NHL. I just don't think he'd be wanted in the NHL.
I
Maybe
really don't think so. The only way I envision Babcock
Not as a
coming back,
coach.
the only way I see him making a splash as a coach is if you find a team where the GM is on the hot seat and he's desperate to make a move, and he says, I need someone to come in here and fix this for me, fix my problems. I need someone who's a proven winner.
Whip it into shape.
Yeah. Look,
The difference is
try Babcock.
the young kids never grew up with
Perhaps.
coaches like this. The veterans have. The young kids,
Yes.
and which is like, this is what's taking over now, is the younger, early 20s. They didn't grow up with
Yes.
coaches like this. Like
They're a
everybody
total
else.
different generation. Even
So
the
it's-
kids, the kids
You're not going to
nowadays,
get the group.
It's a totally different coaching style. It's a totally different playing style. Everything is different now. Everything.
That's
So
right.
I mean, you have to adapt to that change, and Babcock was refusing to do that. He didn't want to do that, and I feel like Tortorella is the same situation.
He's made a big career out of being that.
Yeah, and it worked. Yes, it worked for years,
But,
but not
nothing
with
lasts
these
forever.
young guys. Not
No.
with these young
No,
guys.
and it's not going to fly. I mean, Sheldon Keefe's of the world are going to take over. John Cooper's,
Yeah.
those guys who know how to communicate, know how
And
well spoken,
relate,
articulated, right?
Yep.
There a lot of the kids that are coming through now too. And aside from being star players, a lot of them have been star students. They're not dummies. You don't need to
No.
talk to them like they're children, right?
No,
You got
they
people,
have
you've
high
got players
school
with
diplomas.
high school diplomas,
and
college degrees.
degrees.
you know,
Yeah, it's not.
These
it's
guys
not
are
like
not
it used to be.
idiots. They
No.
the days of pushing through a star player to the NHL
Let's
just
look
because
at
he can shoot a puck. It's over.
the contract negotiations will reflect that. I mean,
Yeah.
they're taking the reins now, right? They're standing
Oh
up on their
yeah,
own.
they're making money before they even prove themselves.
Well, just look at all the other sports. Like hockey was kind of late to that game.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I mean, football's been doing that for years.
it was inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming. It's with the times. Get with the times, man.
Why don't we talk about? I don't want to cut you guys off, but I got another issue just sprung to mind. Why don't we talk about? We've seen a few upsets lately in the league. Some.
Wow, last night was rough.
Yeah.
Proline must be hurting if anybody's getting this stuff right.
Oh my God, someone's making loot.
How does LA beat Colorado?
I don't know.
On any planet.
Any planet is true. And I mean, even on the TSN radio, I'm sure you heard it because you guys watch it too. But yesterday, you hear the bets, and it's like, take Colorado to win, and it's just like, so, and I'm like, yeah, Colorado's so gonna win tonight. And then I watched the highlights this morning, and I was just like, what? How? What happened?
You wouldn't want to see Colorado hit a slump and look back, like when it's down the stretch, and look at that LA game and say, really?
Yeah,
that was
like
the 2 points we need now.
Yeah, can you imagine if they missed the playoffs by 2 points?
You don't know.
Ouch.
One injury can change everything.
It's anyone's game. It's the NHL, right? Any team can win on any night. They preach it. And one of the things I always remember from coming up through sports in general, I never played a lot of hockey. My stat line in high school was not a pretty one. It was like, I think I had like 29 penalty minutes and 1 shot on goal or something shit like that. It was not good. But I played a lot of other sports.
Not bad.
No, it was not good. I was not good. But I remember coaches saying what you don't want to do is just play to the level of the opposition, and it happens a lot. I think we've seen that in the Ottawa games, where they didn't put their best foot forward in the first one, at least in particular, because they played down to the level of the team they were playing with. And if you're going to be a contender, you got to get out of that mindset. You got to break that trend. And I think
you set the pace.
I think Colorado, while they're a contender, they're still young, and they still got a lot to learn too. I mean, their superstars are only kids, right? Yeah. So I mean, their captain was one of the youngest in NHL history. So no, it's going to take them a while to figure their game out too. And I think that's what happened last night with LA. They played to LA's level, and if you're going to match levels, LA can beat you. I mean, they're still an NHL team. So
apparently,
they're quite capable of scoring goals and saving. So
that was their first win too. Hey, so like they came out guns blazing.
Yeah, they're pretty pumped when they're beating a Stanley Cup favorite. So good for them.
Yeah, good for them
so
though. I'm just here checking it out. Doughty got a goal. Nice.
Yeah. Alex Iafallo
got the first star.
He's going to be a good little player. This Iafallo. I've been following him a bit. He's going to be good. But what's leading to this, guys? I mean, like here we are with teams getting upset this early in the season. What's your take, Chad? What do you think's leading to this?
Probably lack of exhibition. Nobody's got a chance to gel. So you're going to have nights where you're going to kind of lose chemistry kind of easily because you never really solidified it yet. So I think lack of exhibition and just getting your feet wet and just jumping right in the deep end, it's you're going to have some follies in there. And I don't want to see that decide anybody's season either at the end.
No.
Like I said, you don't want Colorado looking back at that LA game because all of a sudden St. Louis and Hoffman heat up and, start blowing away the stats and you're fighting for position all of a sudden. So it's.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. That's a really good take.
I mean, some of these teams only are 3 and 4 games in. Like you said, they're still essentially playing what it feels like to them an exhibition game, and they're not even really gelling together yet. Just like Chad said, I can agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, I got nothing further to add. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about tonight? I'm all ears if you are, but that's it for me.
No, I feel
just
like
watching I just keep my eyes on Twitter for the Dubois trade, and I'm hoping he doesn't end up in Montreal.
I know.
Because I will never sleep again if he ends up in Montreal.
I can't handle Habs fans if he does. The only thing is, who would they have to give up though? They would have to give up somebody big.
I don't know that big forward, that driving forward up front that can score. They've been missing that for a very long time.
They need him. Would they trade Josh Anderson back?
I don't think.
That would be hilarious, but no, I wouldn't.
Can you imagine?
I don't think.
Oh,
I
anyway.
don't
funny.
think Columbus would take him.
Anyways, come on, Winnipeg,
Yeah.
or poor Laine, but come on, Winnipeg.
I know. I almost don't want it to happen because I know Laine would not be a great fit. Like, and I feel like that might be the one thing even stopping Winnipeg, or I mean, not Winnipeg, from Columbus from even wanting to make that trade if they know Laine's, reputation for this young punk kind of dude who essentially don't give a shit. I don't know if that's going to be a good match.
Yeah, I got a question for you.
Interesting. I
One
don't-
question that comes to mind because we're talking about this. We talked about who could this one give up, who could that one give up. We've been kicking around, beating around the bush here all night. In a world where there was no cap, there was no cap strap, and we weren't where we are, who in your top 6 with the Leafs would you consider moving for a player like Pierre-Luc Dubois, or is there one?
Oh,
You can't say
I
Jimmy
don't
V6. He's
know.
only making 750,000. He's not a top 6
yeah,
forward.
he's not. He can't even like. I couldn't even say Hyman. No, because Hyman's not a center. Like he's a centerman. So it would only be essentially John Tavares or Austin Matthews if you're only saying top 6.
Well, yes and no, unless you brought a guy like that in. Would
Kerfoot.
you? I mean, a big guy like
Well-
him can easily play the wing, easily, and be
Well-
a
What if-
power forward.
The
What
only
if
thing would be
what
like,
if Freddy was going over in Corpusalo, and what if what if there's a defenseman in the mix? Let's make
I
this real
like
interesting.
Oh God!
I
Now we're going
like
on. Now we're
it.
going on a rabbit hole. On that note, guys, we're going to shut her down.
yeah, let's go to
Oh,
bed. It is
careful.
now what time in Newfoundland, guys? 12:15.
Oh my
After
God.
12, Newfoundland
So it
time
is.
for all you
Late night.
mainlanders. We suffer through it here
Yeah.
on the East Coast.
Oh goodness.
All right, guys. Well,
All right.
if you like what you
Solid
see,
night.
yeah, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Boom, boom, down there.
Down below.
Follow us on Facebook at Facebook/DeekSnipesSilly or DeekSnipesSilly.ca. Big thanks to Kylie Murn, Chad Newman, and myself. For now, peace out.
Cheers.
See you next time.